Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating, I hope they're good for you. This holiday season, I gave myself a bit of a challenge to build PCBs that are a little bit more like Steph Piper's PCBs. Now, I didn't achieve this level of greatness, but I did use some vector graphics to make these holiday PCBs. And PCBWay also sent me some Christmas gifts, so thank you for that. Let's take a look at how they turned out, and here we go. Got some PCBWay swag, as always, and the famous PCBWay pens, which I love. Wish the cap didn't break so often, but here are my PCBs. So I designed them to be in the shape of a wreath. So they're a holiday wreath, and if you'll see, there's a little bit of a garland going around them. My logo in the very center, and then we've got a couple of these balls here, and the way I've designed it is these are those color changing LEDs that go all the way around, and I got a little hole poked in the top so that you can hang this on a tree or wherever. Super simple, and you just put a battery in here, coin cell battery, and solder on the LEDs. Should be fairly simple. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a close-up before I start soldering, because I think this actually looks pretty good on its own. So as you can see, I've even have the ribbons a little bit weirdly spaced because I wanted it to have the sort of handmade feel to it. And it's complemented by PCBWay's gold coating, so it looks really good. However, the size of this means that if you want to order your own in the regular sort of silver coating, it should cost you $5 for 10 of these plus shipping. And so it'll be very inexpensive, and you can put some up in your own home if you'd like. I've also started doing this strategy where instead of silkscreen, I like putting the text on the solder mask so that the flood fill on the back just shows up. So in this case, it's gold. So it looks really good. I put a optional resistor here to keep the current lower because these coin cells do run out pretty quick. But either way, let's put this together. Got myself all set up here, so I'm going to slide the PCB into the helping hands. It's a little bit hard to hang on to because it is a round PCB, and you do need to put it a little bit offset so that the LEDs don't get in the way of the little claws. But other than that, we're all good to go. So really, there's not too much to solder here, just a couple of LEDs, and the long leg goes into the round hole. That would be the positive. And then you can use whatever technique you would like to make them stay. Basically, I usually just bend a leg, and then I solder one side, and then make sure it's flat, and then solder the other side. So just going to bend the legs on these guys real quick. And then you get the good old soldering iron. I am at 350 degrees Celsius with some 60-40 tin lead solder. None of the solder-free rubbish, as Dave Jones would say. And the positive is a little bit longer to solder because the it's a whole ground. Because I poured the whole plane. So there we go, and then you can just make sure that it sits straight. And there we go. There we go, and just go over and solder the other leg. Everything's soldered up and trimmed. I'm going to opt to do a resistor. This is a 56 ohm resistor. And the way I like to put my resistors these days is to just fold it in half like that. And I use these really narrow pads. And so I use that because if you want to just jump the hole, just have the no resistor option, then it's a lot easier because the holes are like right next to each other. You can also just use a jumper, just like a piece of wire from your that you snipped off the LEDs. But I like doing it like this, and I solder, actually solder it from the back side on the pad that's easy to get to. Oh. Snip that off, and then get your little coin cell holder, pop that in place, and then I like to just hold it on the back side and then grab the soldering iron and push up on the pin so that it stays in place, and then add some solder once it heats up. And you go back and hold it, just make sure to touch the plastic, not the metal, like that. And then same thing on the other pin here. There we go. And so that should be that. We should be ready to put a coin cell in and see what it looks like. Let me dim the lights a bit. Hopefully the light levels are perfect to get you the good view. This is a 2032 battery. You can fit a little bit thicker in there, and it goes positive side up. So you just clip it onto the back here and drop it in like that, and there we go. So yeah, it's a little bright still, but there the colors go. They are going to change color themselves. It does red, green, blue, and the internal clocks are not synchronized, and so over time the colors will drift and it'll become a lot more random. It's been on for about 10 minutes now, and I think in revision 2 I need to add some bigger capacity batteries, or maybe just not use coin cells from the dollar store. But either way, the colors, as you can see, are not synchronized anymore, and we are missing the blue because the voltage dropped too low for blue. But either way, even with the LEDs off, I think these things look fantastic in a tree or hanging around or whatever. And so yeah, that's it for this video. Make sure to check out the link below if you want to order your own or just see my other shared projects on PCBWay's website. But I think it's fair to say that PCBWay and myself for sure wish you happy holidays. Thanks for watching.